$500 million. That is the price tag on the most expensive private jet ever ordered. And here is the part I still cannot get over. The man who paid for it never flew in it. Not once. I have spent years poking around the world of billionaire toys, and I can tell you nothing escalates quite like private aviation. Today, I am counting down the 10 most expensive private jets on the planet, and trust me, this list gets genuinely absurd. We start at $70 million, a price that will not even crack the top 5. We end with a flying palace so extravagant that even its own billionaire buyer could not keep up with the payments. Along the way, you will meet a jet that was handed over completely free, a jumbo jet whose owner is a closely guarded secret, and a plane so luxurious that 2 different world leaders received one as a gift. Let's board. Number 10. Elon Musk's Gulfstream G650ER. $70 million. The richest man on Earth flies what many pilots consider the finest business jet ever built. The G650ER can cruise at Mach 0.925, just a whisker below the speed of sound, and it can fly 7,500 nautical miles without stopping. That is Los Angeles to Sydney in one hop. Musk's jet carries the tail number N628TS, and if you are wondering about those digits, 628 is his birthday, June 28th. Here is my favorite detail. This is almost certainly the most tracked aircraft in the world. A college student named Jack Sweeney built an automated account that followed Musk's every flight, and Musk reportedly offered him $5,000 to shut it down. Sweeney said no. $70 million, and the whole world still knows exactly where you parked. Number 9. Donald Trump's Boeing 757, around $100 million. Long before he was flying on the real Air Force One, Trump bought this 757 back in 2011, in a deal reported at roughly $100 million from a company tied to Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen. The press nicknamed it Trump Force One, and the inside is exactly what you would expect. The seatbelt buckles are reportedly plated in 24-karat gold. The lamps are Waterford crystal. The seats are hand-stitched leather, and his name is painted down the fuselage in letters you can read from the next runway over. Now here is the scale of the thing. An airline would squeeze more than 200 passengers into a 757. This one is configured for around 43. That is roughly 5 times the personal space of an ordinary ticket, on a plane powered by 2 Rolls-Royce engines. Number 8. Kim Kardashian's Kim Air, $150 million. Kim bought a Gulfstream G650ER for $95 million, and then spent a reported $55 million more on the interior, which honestly might be the most Kim Kardashian sentence ever spoken. Designers wrapped nearly every surface of the cabin in soft white cashmere. The seats, the headrests, the ceiling panels, even the inside of the overhead bins. It seats 18, the beds convert to king size, and there are 2 full bathrooms on board. And because an all-cashmere cabin is gorgeous right up until somebody ruins it, Kim Air comes with house rules. Guests reportedly have to wear approved slippers on board, and spray tans are strictly banned. $150 million, and the dress code is slippers only. Number 7. Air Drake, $185 million. Drake's Boeing 767 might be the single best deal in the history of celebrity aviation because the rapper reportedly paid nothing for it. A Canadian cargo airline called Cargo Jet handed him the $185 million widebody in 2019 as a marketing partnership, betting that the exposure would pay for itself. Inside there is a master bedroom, a cinema lounge, and room for around 30 guests, all behind an exterior painted by the late fashion legend Virgil Abloh, sky blue and wrapped in clouds, with Drake's owl logo on the tail. After a renovation unveiled in 2025, some reports now value the plane at $200 million. $200 million of airplane for free. Somewhere, every accountant in the world just felt a chill. Number 6. The Sultan of Brunei's Boeing 747, more than $220 million. Now we leave the celebrities behind and enter the world of actual royalty. The Sultan of Brunei, one of the wealthiest monarchs on Earth, took a full-size Boeing 747-400, an airplane built to carry around 400 people, and turned it into his personal flying residence. Reports put the airframe at well over $100 million, with another $120 million spent on the interior. And what an interior! The wash basins are reportedly solid gold. There is lalique crystal worked into the cabin, a master suite, and lounges where the economy seats used to be. But here is the detail I love most. The Sultan is a trained pilot, and he reportedly likes to fly the jumbo jet himself. When you remember this is the same man whose palace garage holds a car collection estimated at 7,000 vehicles, a self-flown golden 747 starts to feel almost reasonable. Number 5. Roman Abramovich's Boeing 787 Dreamliner. $350 million. The Russian oligarch and former Chelsea Football Club owner took a 787-8, a jet that normally carries more than 200 passengers, and rebuilt it for just 50. 30 guests, 10 staff, and dedicated seats for 10 bodyguards. The purchase was reported at around $300 million, with another $100 million or so poured into the cabin. For years it shadowed his super yacht Eclipse around the globe. Then in 2022, sanctions hit. The Dreamliner flew to Dubai and has been effectively grounded there ever since, with the US Department of Justice authorized to seize it. $350 million of aircraft, and today its biggest journey is sitting very, very still. Number 4. The Mystery Boeing 747-8 VIP, $367 million. This one is my favorite kind of luxury story, the kind with a secret. A brand new Boeing 747-8 was delivered as a private jet with a cabin measuring 4,786 square feet. That is more than twice the size of the average American home, at 40,000 feet. Completion specialists built something called an aeroloft above the main cabin, a private skyloft with 8 beds, an entire second floor of sleeping quarters up where the hump of the 747 curves. And the owner? Never officially confirmed. The jet is widely believed to belong to a head of state, most reports pointing to the Middle East. But no name has ever been attached. $367 million, a flying mansion with its own upstairs, and an owner who has managed to do what no one else on this list could. Stay anonymous. Number 3. Alisher Usmanov's Bourkhan, around $400 million. Before sanctions changed everything, the Uzbek-born metals billionaire flew the largest privately owned aircraft in Russia, an Airbus A380-300 named Bourkhan, after his father. He reportedly paid around $238 million for the plane, and after customization, some estimates put its value at $400 million or more. The A340 is over 200 feet long, more than twice the length of a basketball court, riding on 4 engines, with a reported interior so secretive that very few photos have ever leaked. In 2022, Bourkhan was sanctioned alongside its owner, and a jet that once crossed continents on a whim suddenly found most of the world's airspace closed to it. Number 2. The Qatari Royal Boeing 747-8i. $400 million, and possibly a lot more. In 2018, the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, did something extraordinary. He gave a jumbo jet away. Turkey's President Erdogan admired the Emiri fleet's 747-8i, a plane valued at $400 million, and when it was listed for sale, aviation sources estimated its value at over $500 million. The Emir simply made it a gift. Inside there are meeting rooms, bedrooms for the first family, room for 76 passengers, and even an onboard medical facility. And here is the twist that brings this story right up to today. Qatar did it again. In 2025, the Qatari government gifted another of its luxury 747-8s to the United States to serve as an interim Air Force One. The US Air Force says it will be flying the president by the summer of 2026. For scale, the 2 brand-new official Air Force One jets being built will cost American taxpayers around $3.9 billion. Qatar's version of a greeting card is a $500 million jumbo jet. Number 1. Prince Alwaleed bin Talal's Airbus A380 Flying Palace, $500 million. In 2007, at the Dubai Air Show, the Saudi billionaire prince walked up and ordered the largest passenger aircraft ever built, the double-decker Airbus A380, as his personal jet. Industry sources put the price as high as $485 million, with the finished palace widely reported at $500 million. The design plans were beyond anything aviation had ever seen. 3 decks connected by an elevator, 20 VIP suites, a garage below for his Rolls-Royce. Concept drawings even included a concert hall and a Turkish bath. It was going to be the most expensive private jet in human history. And then the 2008 financial crisis arrived. The prince reportedly defaulted on payments, quietly resold the unfinished aircraft, and in 2015 Airbus confirmed the order was dead. The Flying Palace never carried its prince, not one flight, which means the most expensive private jet ever ordered exists today, mostly as a set of drawings, and the crown for the most expensive private jet actually in the sky circles right back to those Qatari 747s, one of which is being repainted red, white and blue as we speak. So that is the list. A free Boeing for a rapper, a golden jumbo flown by a sultan, and a $500 million palace that never left the ground. Here is what stays with me. At this altitude of wealth, an airplane stops being transportation. It becomes a statement, a residence, even a diplomatic gift between nations. So let me leave you with the only question that matters. If one of these 10 was waiting on your runway tomorrow, fueled and ready, which one would you take the keys to? Tell me in the comments. And if you enjoyed this little tour above the clouds, you know what to do. I will see you in the next one.